and they speak loud enough to where that decision gets overturned.
Yeah.
So get involved if you're not with your local city council. Go to the meetings, find out what all other departments they have. They're probably going to have a planning and zoning committee. They're probably going to have an economic development authority. They're probably going to have some other form of government in there. That find the thing that you're interested in, or the thing that affects you, or you're interested in, whatever, and go to those meetings. They're all public. They post them. Most of the time they post them on our website. I saw on the Henryettan, you guys do a really good job of posting all the events. I wish Dakota had something like that.
You can do it through the Henryettan. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, okay. Well, you guys do a great job of posting all the community events. When I looked at the website the other day, what is it again?
It's the Henryettan.com.
Yeah, when I looked that up the other day, I was pretty amazed. That's a lot of work goes into that, putting all those banner ads, putting all the events on there, gathering all that information, and then putting it on there.
Hey guys, welcome back to SOG TV. I've got a guest that I have known longer than most people, actually. I think we met when I was 13 in baseball, high school.
Yep.
Been friends for a very long time, which is very rare for somebody to stick around me that long. But today is Hoss Durrett. He's kind of a big deal in the big town of Shakota.
In a very small circle.
Yeah, he's a big fish in a small pond. But
no, it's just because I've been there for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, you just got tired of not doing anything, because we grew up in, well, everybody just wanted the town to stay the same.
Yeah, and that's what you normally in a small town. That's the criticism you hear of the city government, is that this town could grow, but the people that are in charge or whatever are in power don't want it to get any bigger. Yeah. Or there's a lot of that kind of stuff, and I've heard it. I heard it my whole life. Or like the people that owns the grocery store, the people that owns the bank, the people that whatever. Yeah. They don't want any more competition here, so they don't want us to have any more choices. Yeah. Well, now that I'm grown up and have been doing some things in my community, and I'm on some of those boards, those guys are on there and they want things to grow just like you do. But in the municipality, it's not that easy. It's not like in the free market, like whereas I'm a business owner as well. If I make a decision today that I want to do whatever, I can just go do it. In the city setting, you have to get it on the agenda. Everybody has to vote on it. Once they vote on it, then you got, it just seems like it takes forever. Like on the, at Shakota, it's where I'm the vice chairman of the Industrial Development Authority, which is economic development. When I got on the board 8 years ago, we decided to try to develop the South Industrial Tract, which is on I-40 and 69, and which is a logical thing because of all the traffic. Well, we decided we needed a road that run along, like a service road, to where you could sell lots off of and develop it and stuff like that. Well, that was 8 years ago. We finally just now are doing the engineering on it because we had to make the purchases. One landowner didn't want to, he wanted a lot of money for it, and so we had to go through the whole getting it appraised, and then, vice versa. Anyway, going back and forth, a lot of negotiating, a lot of going back and forth, between lawyers, and then there were some other pieces of property we had to pick up first, and just, it doesn't happen overnight in the municipality world or space, whatever you want to call it. A lot of planning, and then you're not messing with your money, you're messing with the taxpayers' money, so you have to, every decision is scrutinized and thought over and all those things. So it's not that, in my opinion, from the people that I'm working with myself, it's not that they don't want it to grow. It's just it takes a lot to get the ball moving. Yeah. And so we're finally just about at that point now where we can get the road built, because now we've acquired the property. We've approved the engineering and all that stuff. So in the future on I-40, there'll be some hotels, some restaurants, some shopping, all that stuff. And that's what we've been working for. But it's been 8 years. Wow. It's insane, That's nuts. If it was like me, myself, personally, and I was doing this as a property project or an investment or whatever, I'd have went broke. Yeah. By now, you know what I mean? So, it's just
most people don't have 8 years to go. That's It's a long time, especially if you just started doing stuff like this in your 50s. And you're like, I want to invest in this, and it took 8 years to do. I'm like, I'm almost 60 now.
Well, typically when somebody wants to do something like this, a project anyways, they go borrow the money, or they get a plan together, they go borrow the money, and then they start paying interest on that. Well, 8 years, the bank's not going to wait 8 years before it starts charging you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to want something, and then you got to bring it's got to bring the money in. But anyways, that's just one part of the things that we do down there to try to expand the footprint of Shakota and the commercial space and stuff. But I'm involved in a lot of other stuff too. But one is the Katy Depot. It's a kind of a tourist / museum thing. It's the original Katy Depot, but we moved it from down off the railroad tracks up to right on 69 Highway by the Walmart or the McDonald's and the Walmart.
Paul Carr, right?
Paul Carr Drive, yeah. And we've got it set up, and there's a committee that meets every month and discusses, the finances and what events we should have and all that stuff. And we had that meeting earlier this morning and stuff, and we just got through doing our hobo dinner, which hobo, kind of like fits with the railroad theme and stuff. And
so offensive.
Yeah. So what it was we had some beans and cornbread, like a hobo dinner, basically.
That's called good dinner.
It's a good dinner, beans and cornbread. And then we just, had some, people donated pies and desserts and things. And then we had some, our state rep, actually not our state rep, Haskell County state rep, Tim Turner, but he's a Shakota boy.
Oh, Tim.
Our state rep's Neil Hayes, and he does a great job too. But Tim came over and he actually
no relation. Most of the Hayes that I know are in prison.
Yeah. But anyway, Timmy came in and did a great job as being the MC and auctioneer that night.
Oh, wow.
And we raised a bunch of money for the Katy, and there's a group that is they donate, or they how do I want to say it? They sponsor the Katy in certain ways. And the outside of the Katy it's a 100-plus-year-old building, so some of the wood has been rotting, the paint was bad. They donated the money to go ahead and get that fixed. So the Katy don't have the money just to anyway. But they were kind enough to donate that money to where we could get the Katy repainted, fix all the bad wood and stuff, so it'll be here for another 100+ years.
Nice.
And the Carr family, which is what the Paul Carr Drive is named after, it was a battleship for many years. I think it was finally decommissioned in 2013, but it went from, I believe, the 40s or 50s all the way up to then.
A lot of people have no idea how much history
there's a ton of history in
Shakota.
Yeah, not to mention not only Carrie Underwood. I mean, she's awesome, and I love her parents and stuff. But
who's that?
Yeah, some American Idol lady. I don't know. And then obviously the steer wrestling and the Cowboys and stuff, the Duval family, and there's a lot of other ones besides the Duvals, but they're the big ticket item. They're the guys. Yeah. They put on a jackpot every year, a big rodeo and stuff that people from all over the place come to. And then you've got the Blues Hall of Fame is right down the street in Renniesville.
Yep.
And so you'll have Selby Minner. Yeah. She does a fantastic job with putting on a blues festival every year that people from all over the country come to, and
all over the country.
All over the country.
Yeah,
I mean, she'll have it when she gets ready for it. She comes around and starts passing out looking for donations and stuff. But she'll bring you a flyer in of who all's performing and stuff and where they're from. And my gosh, some of these people are from. There's been some from other countries and stuff before that come in there, and it's a big deal. I think it's about a 3-day long process or something like that, or 3 nights or whatever. I know that the Warner School, their band went and performed there this last year and stuff. And I mean, it's really neat. And then also the Battle of Honey Springs.
Yep.
They have I believe they spent $3 million on the museum there.
Wow.
It's a first-class museum with absolutely beautiful exhibits. You walk in and you're immersed in the Civil War, basically. Yeah. And it's right on the ground where they fought the battle axe.
And them reenactors, they live it.
They do. They're wearing the wool, and it's hot out there.
I had a buddy that I was actually I taught him my mind is going blank. And he would do it. He actually got a horse specifically so he'd be in the cavalry of the Civil War. And he was always going there. And we lived, south by McAllister, but he was always, loving up. And he ended up getting a job there. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well, if you go to the battle, it's happened. It used to be every 4 years, but I think now it's every year, every two. I'll have to check and make sure. But when you go to it, they have all these little tents set up where you can buy. It's not root beer. What's that called?
Sassafras.
Sassafras. Yeah, sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla. It's made. It's made from the sassafras something, but sarsaparilla.
Anyway, they have a lot of like old time drinks, old time food and stuff. It's there. Good. They have the kettle corn.
Not so good. I don't.
Not so good for me either. I like the sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
But they have all, everybody's dressed period correct. All the ladies and stuff are dressed in their dresses and things like that. They have, and you can just walk right up to the fence where the battle is happening right in front of you. They're firing off cannons. They're doing the charge thing. If you haven't been and you're from this area, anywhere remotely around here, you need to go check that out.
I've never been.
Really?
I was always working, but then I moved away for 20 years.
Yeah, but you got to go check that out. It's one of those things you got to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you live in the lake area like we do, you got to go to the lake at least once in your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if you don't own a boat, you got to find your way over to it. You got to find your way over to that.
People, when I'd go over to, lived in other, like when I was in Wyoming, I was talking to the chief, and he said, "Man, you have like a 24/7 tan." He's like, "How?" Because up in Wyoming, it's, and I said, and it was winter time. And I was like, well, I'm from, like Eufaula area. I was like, if you're not tan, the water will tan you.
Yeah.
I was like, it's funny. You see outsiders, they'll, girls wearing the white bikinis or something. That's funny.
Yeah, it's going to be brown.
I was like, it's going to be brown.
Yeah, the lake, the water quality in the Lake Eufaula is not the best.
But it's still fun, though.
Oh,
people,
fantastic.
that's why we love it here. It's because you can go to one part and go fishing. I love to go noodling.
Yeah.
And then you go to another part and you're literally having the time of your life partying on a boat.
Yeah. The Lake Eufaula has been I think they made that a lake. It's a man-made lake in the 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
And when they did that, it created just completely transformed our area of tourism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Eufaula was pretty lucky to have the majority of that around them and stuff. So Shakota gets a bunch of it, gets a lot of the traffic from it because they come down I-40 from the city and they go to Walmart or something like that in Shakota, do business there, and then they go on down. But
yeah, because Shakota, I say we, even though I'm in Henryetta now, basically.
Yeah.
But I am from Shakota.
Yeah.
And from high school on. Shakota has the largest Walmart within. You have to, not counting Muskogee, which is still 20-something miles away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but most people would prefer to go to a smaller town where it's not so crowded and so crazy. Or, I do anyways.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad that we have one of the nicer Walmarts around in our own town.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about getting stabbed or shot.
Yeah, not really. I'm sure there's some exceptions, but not really. Yeah. I didn't mean to sit here and talk about Shakota all day, but that's kind of what I've been doing this morning. That's
fine. It's what you know.
Yeah. When I was going to school and stuff, when we were both in school, everybody talks about I can't wait to get out of here. Can't wait to get out of here. And I was the opposite. I wanted to, my family had been here for a long time, owned businesses and stuff. And I was ready to go to business for myself and started the tire shop when I was 19 and ran it. I sold out at 37. So I had a pretty good run there. And
it wasn't just a tire shop. People think tire shop, old dude in overalls, and I don't think I've seen dirt on your hands at all. You had somebody else do stuff, but you had wheels and hostile wheels.
Yeah, So we didn't just buy an old garage and turn it into tires. I built a brand new facility at 19. So
it was legit.
My banker, Mr. Jennings, he had a lot of faith in me. That's what I can say.
At 19,
19, yeah. But anyway, so I was able to build a building and build a good business there, and we, sales went up every year and stuff. But I worked it hard. I was there every day. I worked it like you were supposed to, and tried to find new ways every day to make another dollar and offer something else to people and things, and then eventually got tired of it, and it was time for me to move on and do something else. But I'd done it for 18 years.
Well, you found what people valued, and it's funny. A lot of people like to have their own opinions, like, oh, well, he's just too expensive and stuff. Oh, well, value isn't money.
Yeah.
Their value is what somebody else wants. And I like going there. In fact, I think I got my oil change and stuff.
Yeah, we did your oil changes and things. And we did a lot of oil changes there and brakes and stuff like that. But what I liked was most of my customers that had been coming to me for a long time, I took it as an honor that they didn't ask the price most of the time.
I don't think I ever asked price.
Because they trusted me to give them the best deal and the best recommendation of what I had that they needed.
Yeah.
And so you would think, a skeptical person would say, oh, if you didn't ask the price, then you must have charged them too much. It was actually the opposite. If you trusted me enough to hand that to me, I gave you sometimes a better deal.
Yeah.
Just because you had that trust, and I appreciated that.
Hey, y'all drive my car to my house.
So much easier. Yeah. Yeah. The service is what I was about. That's what you have to be about. And just like in the my current business, which is a equipment business where we sell Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcats, Spartan lawnmowers, and we sell a bunch of equipment, trailers, and things like that. It's service is what is the most important thing. Buying the item is one thing, but when you got to get it worked on and it's got to have service and stuff, you've got to know that your dealer is going to go above and beyond. I remember when I bought my first brand new truck from Dunn Country Motors in Eufaula.
Yeah.
I had an issue, and it may or may not have been a little over the miles on the warranty and stuff, but I went in and I saw Kel, who's the owner, and he no questions asked, took care of it for me, made sure that I got it all warranted and stuff. And now he didn't have to, because I may or may not have been over their miles and stuff, but he did, and it meant a lot to me because I didn't have to come up with the $5,000 out of pocket and things. It was a big deal to me. So I carried that experience with me into the service part of the dealership that I have now. And if anybody's close or whatever, and I'll do anything I can to help them out to where it doesn't cost them a ton of money. Yeah. Because, listen, this is one big crab sandwich we're all trying to take a bite out of. Yeah. And we're all just trying to survive. And so anything I can do to help out, is what I'll do and stuff. So that's why I'm involved in the city stuff, the Industrial Development Authority, the Katy Depot Options, which is a neat organization that helps people that are mentally and physically handicapped and stuff. Yeah. We provide them jobs, workplace, and we recycle there and stuff like that. So that's why I'm involved in all that stuff. Just
when I was a kid, people kept on thinking I worked for Options.
Why?
I don't know. I was like, what are you trying to say? Nothing.
Well, anyway, but no, I've been following your podcast. I've been following your TikToks, your social media stuff for a while. I've seen it, and then obviously with the election this year, and then Trump going on Rogan and all those things, podcast is becoming the way to get your news and your media and stuff instead of the old antiquated way. And so I think this is important. I think this is great. It gives me a little bit of experience to come in and do it, but it gives you you already got all the experience you need. But
no, I need more experience. Can't have enough.
I think having people come in like this and talk to them and things, I think it's pretty neat. So.
Yeah. Well, you get to find out things that, listen, I've always said this in law enforcement, and I was an instructor also, and I trained other officers, and I would tell people that would get all high and mighty, other officers that had been doing it forever. I got into an argument with an assistant chief who was an idiot. Yeah. And he wasn't an assistant chief anymore, but at the department we worked at, he always talked about him being an assistant chief. I was like, what? And then he told me of where. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But I said, listen, you can learn from everybody. Everybody has something. And that's why I don't call anybody stupid, because I've said, Mark Twain said it best. He said, you cannot judge the intelligence of a fish by how well he climbs a tree.
That's right.
You know, and everybody has their tree. I happen to live in a forest, but
Yeah, so do I.
but you know, there's our things, there's stuff. And when I called you about business advice for you. I didn't listen to you because that's who I am, but I called because I knew this is the guy I want to talk to. My buddy that was just here, John Little. Me and him had been in law enforcement. He started like a couple of years after me, but now he's been in it longer because I've been out of it for a few years. But I don't know anybody that knows more about law enforcement than him. And that's why I wanted him on here, because people want to know information. And they're tired of getting it from mainstream media because it's all coming out. Trump wasn't wrong when he said fake news.
Yeah.
Because their idea is to sit there and try. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. Yeah. I just want them to hear somebody that's a business person, somebody that knows about politics, also local politics. You know, because honestly, as big as the president is, the one that affects you more than anything is your local politicians.
That's one that affect your life directly and stuff. Yeah. And I've seen some things at the city that they may be wanting to make a decision on something, and then the people show up opposed to this situation, and they speak loud enough to where that decision gets overturned.
Yeah.
So get involved if you're not with your local city council. Go to the meetings, find out what all other departments they have. They're probably going to have a planning and zoning committee. They're probably going to have an economic development authority. They're probably going to have some other form of government in there. That find the thing that you're interested in, or the thing that affects you, or you're interested in, whatever, and go to those meetings. They're all public. They post them. Most of the time they post them on their website. I saw on the Henryettan, you guys do a really good job of posting all the events. I wish Shakota had something like that.
You can do it through the Henryettan. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, okay. Well, you guys do a great job of posting all the community events. When I looked at the website the other day, what is it again?
It's thehenryettan.com.
Yeah, when I looked that up the other day, I was pretty amazed. That's a lot of work goes into that, putting all those banner ads, putting all the events on there, gathering all that information, and then putting it on there. So somebody, it's probably not you, somebody's working their butt off.
I talk.
Somebody's working their butt off.
Yeah, Shell back there, he does all the actual computer work. Then you have Boots, who is talking to everybody in the city. And
yeah, well, it shows. It shows that their level of dedication is high. It shows that that they obviously care enough to do this and stuff. So I mean, I'm pretty appreciative of it, and then you guys invited me here. I'm appreciative of that too. So, I think you guys are doing a great job, honestly, and I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, I appreciate that. I have a question. You don't have to tell me, but I've always been curious about that, because I know our old buddy Tim became a senator. Or became a state rep, whatever. I don't know anything about that. I talk. Come on. Yeah. I knew he was in politics, which actually made a lot of sense.
He was a sheriff of Haskell County.
Yeah, he was a sheriff. Then he was, before that, he was actually a deputy. But he'd gone up the ladder of being civil service, and you don't do that unless you want to do that. And you've also
make some changes. Yeah,
you have shown over the past dozen years that I tell people, I'm like, honestly, if I was to give one person the credit, and I know it's not a one person thing, but at least the face of trying to push things to move, to get done, like Taco Bell coming to Shakota and stuff, the business. And I mean, when we were kids, we had one stoplight.
You know how I got Taco Bell?
Yeah.
I called them. I found out, I got on their website. I found out who owned the franchise for Shakota. I got on their website and looked at the development guy. I got his phone number and his email, and I emailed and texted him every week.
Really?
For a year. Nice. And finally, I got him to come to a meeting. I got him to agree to come to a meeting. I used Armstrong Bank, another good bank, partner of mine. They have a conference center or a conference room across the street from the property that I was trying to get him onto, and they let me use the conference room. I had a sign made up that says "Welcome KMAC Enterprises," just like a big company would, would try to recruit. Anyway, they came there. I rolled the red carpet out for them, the whole 9 yards.
You have to make it appealing for them to want to be here.
So I was doing everything. I was like, we want you. In the meeting I had set up, I had the mayor there, Rick Cox, the former guy over the water and sewer and stuff. He was there to let them know.
Which mayor was this?
Daniel Tarkington. Yeah, Daniel.
I knew it wasn't the previous one.
No. But anyway, I had the right officials there. I had the mayor was there to say, hey, whatever you need, we'll make it happen. We just want you to come here. Obviously it went well. We sold them a piece of property. They came in, they built. What I didn't realize at the time, I just wanted to get another option to eat here, and so that's why I got Taco Bell. Taco Bell, Arby's, pizza. And Brahms is who I was trying to. And if I could get any of those, I felt like it was a win. So it was a win. What I didn't realize was the amount of jobs that it provided. I didn't realize that was a 40-plus job deal. I figured probably maybe 8 or 10, but that's 40-something jobs that was created by bringing that company into this town or into Shakota. So it had a
population of only like 3,500 people.
Yeah,
that's
big. A pretty big deal. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is a big deal.
That's not 3,500 working age people. That's just 3,500 people.
That's right. Yeah, but it's a good place for to get a start your career at and stuff like that. So a good place for kids to be able to start the workforce and things like that and build
get
from
experience.
There. So I almost had Arby's. I did the same thing to Arby's. Every week I'd send them an email. I would text them and call them. Finally, they were like, quit calling us. We were 2 weeks out from them coming down to do their visit because I have the spot right next to it for Arby's is what I had. And they sold out. It was called U.S. Beef is who owned it out of Tulsa. Yeah. And they sold out to some company, and they said, please don't call us no more. We're focusing our efforts on Colorado and New Mexico. If we ever come back, we'll call you. I was like, okay. But anyway, but that's what you got to do. You just got to bug them and say, hey, look at me. I'm over here. Come to our town and stuff. So we just got a new Bell's. I call it Bill's, but it's pronounced Bell's. It's a department store.
Okay.
Kind of like a Burlington coat factory.
Yeah.
We just got one of those.
Bill's, but it's pronounced Bell's.
Yeah. The
I tried to spell ad space to them, but they said, we do all marketing at corporate in Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a big corporate thing. So, I mean, good luck. So,
yeah.
Anyways, so we've got some new stuff working. We've got some pretty neat things.
I saw there was even urgent care that's in there. A couple urgent cares.
At the old Nichols building.
Yeah. There's even one by the old Shelton's, whatever. Bill's, but whatever. It is right next. There's one. It says
it's a pharmacy and a urgent care. That's been there for a little while. It's been there for probably 5 or 6 years. Okay. And then
I've been gone since 2010.
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. Okay. So there's been a few things happening.
Yeah.
Not much, but there's been a few things. Yeah. Well, we want more stuff to happen, and then see what else. You want to buy a tractor? I'll sell you a tractor. You want to buy a lawnmower? I'll sell you a lawnmower.
Well, that's what I was getting at, is that a lot of it happened, and how to bring businesses into places. Have you ever thought about getting into politics?
Forever, I thought to myself, I was like, well, I'll never run for anything, but if I get appointed to something, I'll do that. And so I got appointed on the Shakota Industrial Development Authority. I got on there, and it just drives me crazy how long everything takes. Because I like to, kind of guy of action. I like to get things going.
Either do it or don't do it. Shit or get off the pot.
Basically, yeah. So, but also now I've been on there for a long time. I understand it. The only thing that I would ever consider would be something like running for state senate or something like that. But it requires a lot of time, a lot of politicking, a lot of going around and shaking hands and kissing babies, which I kind of seem to do that already, but just kind of in my area. But I just have to be going to all the. Timmy Turner got elected by going to 5 events a day. I don't know that I can do 5 events a day, but that's
probably why he looks more in shape than he's ever looked in his life.
He looks great. He looks great. He does a great job.
I saw him the other day at a meeting in Hannah at these turbines, and I meant to go back there and talk to him, but he was gone before. I mean, he was probably going to more events.
Well, we have an open spot. Roger Thompson was the state senator for this area for the last several years, and he done a really good job from what I can tell and stuff. Every time I'd ever need anything from him, he was right on it. Yeah. Now he just stepped down to take some job or something like that. So his his spot is actually vacated right now, and so they're going to have I don't know if they're going to have a special election or just an election. Whatever. I think it's a special election, and so there is a spot open right now if I did decide to do it. But I'd have to have some convincing. I got a pretty nice life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a pretty nice life right now. I've built for myself and my family.
Kind of like Trump. Why would he do it unless he wanted to do it?
Then that would be the only thing that would drive me is if I just wanted to, if I just felt like there was a change or a chance that I could make a difference and stuff. And I've made a difference in all the other things I've done, it seems like. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think that I could, but I just don't know if I want to do it because, you know, you get into the politics part of it, your family gets drug in with you. And right now, my wife and I do a really good job of not mixing business and family. And so, anyway.
Yeah.
That would definitely mix it.
Wow. I think it'd be awesome to see. I have a couple of friends that are in politics. Yeah. But I understand if you don't. So I know if you were to run, that it would be because you want to make a positive change to do stuff. Yeah, I'd have to be. A lot of thought goes into it. You don't just like in business. You can make your mind up pretty quick. You know, I mean, you're pretty. You know, you can make good decisions fast. Yeah. On something like that, that's not a quick decision. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, if I decided to run for state senate, I'd have to make for sure that my business and my people at my business were secure and willing and wanted to do it without me, which I think they would prefer me to be out there because I'm there every day. Yeah. And I'm not like super critical or micromanaging or anything, but I bring a lot of energy in there and I'm like ready to see things. Why aren't you working? And why aren't you working? What are you doing? Yeah. So I'm sure they would love for me to go do something else for a little while and things, but so that would have to be in place. Family would have to be in place. Yeah. And then obviously, the only reason why you'd consider it is because you want to make a difference or you think you could make a difference anyways. Yeah. And I think that with all the experience that I've had being in business and just getting to know people and things, I think, and my mom and dad did a good job, I think, raising a fairly sane person. It's crazy in itself. Yeah. So, anyways, I know a good portion of your family, so yeah, they're all great people, pretty good people. Yeah, very energized. Yeah. To say the least. Well, you know, I grew up in a business family and stuff, so that was just normal to me, and things, and having just a regular 9-to-5 wasn't like an option. No. Yeah, and so like, so I work 6 days a week, but sometimes I'll take off on a Saturday or whatever, but I've got to have something to do because if not, I'll just sit there and look out the window at the dealership because I live next door. Yeah. And if something's happening over there, I kind of want to go see what's going on. So I don't know if it's a sickness or if I'm just mentally ill. Probably mentally ill. That's probably. And but no, I still like it. Is the thing. Yeah. I like the deal. I like making money and stuff is a byproduct in my opinion. I like buying, selling, trading. I'm addicted to making a deal on something, whether it be a brand new unit. There's an energy there. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and from the time they walk in the door or the email lead, whatever comes in, to the time that you're trying to figure out what it is they need and what you have that fits that, and then you get to work on the price, or you're doing financing, or you're doing, you know what I mean, like all these things, and then you're finally doing the final delivery. It's just a really neat, special process. That I think is going to be around for a long time, hopefully. So, yeah, good deal. Other than that, I've got a little pet project, a property I bought downtown in Chakotah. It's the original City Hall. Okay, yeah. It's built in 1916. It looks like it. And it's a 2-story standalone building. I bought it back this summer, and then we started working on it. It's about 6,000 square foot, top and bottom. I think I saw a video of you going through it a little bit. Yeah, I did several videos and stuff, and people were kind of, going along with me on the journey. We're at a stopping point right now until I get the plans from the architect. Architect's drawn up some plans. I picked one out of Kansas City because he had a lot of experience with old brick buildings. Do you know how to really screw up an architect? How? Hand him a hammer. A hammer? Yeah, they probably did. Yeah. This is really neat because the guy... I thought he was going to want to get a tape measure and measure the building, measure the rooms and stuff. He held up his phone and he just scanned Oh yeah, there's
like
an app
and
for that.
stood around, and it created a 3D model of the room, and I was like, well, you want to know like how tall it is? She goes, no, I can tell you how tall it is. And I was like, you want to know like how wide? He's like, I know how wide.
It's like I know better than you do, buddy.
Yeah, he's like it's within an inch or whatever. And so he did that on every room in that building. And he said he was going to go back and he's going to take those rooms and put them all together and build this building out of a 3D model or 4D, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
He said we'll be able to look from the top to the bottom,
I
spin
think
it.
40, you can smell it.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, that might be 5D. I don't know. Anyway, he can move the walls around. He can build cabinets. He can, all the way down to the knobs on the pull out, so you can all that furniture. So
you know what you're going to do with it?
No.
You just bought it.
I bought it.
That looks neat.
Well,
I'm gonna get that.
I have a
Obsession?
Yeah, I have an obsession with old buildings.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was driving through the town of Henryetta waiting to come here, and because I got here a little early. There's a lot of old buildings, they have a lot of, what'd you say, old building inventory. They have a lot of great old building inventory. I did see they lost one this year. It was a collapse downtown. So there's some investment going into them, but not a lot, it looks like, because there's some of the buildings have been fixed up and look really nice.
You want to buy some buildings down here?
No, but I'd like to see somebody else do it. You know what I mean? I'd like to see the city get involved maybe or something like that, because I'm having to do it in Shakota, and there's another building in Shakota getting ready to get restored and stuff. I can't say much about it because I don't want nobody knowing about it yet.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to be long before it gets out.
But when you say it, you're going to come back on the show and say it, right?
Yeah. Once it gets done, yeah.
Like just for 5 minutes, you're going to talk about that and then go.
Yeah, but anyway, so I have a passion for historic buildings, old brick buildings and stuff. So when this one came up for sale, I jumped at the chance to get it.
Good deal.
I would love to get it restored back to the way it was, and then put it back into service.
Yeah.
Get some businesses in it and things. Now it was built as a city hall, like a municipality. It's still got the original jail in it with the jail cell door. You know, the old like black bars like you see in the movies.
Oh, full of asbestos and stuff.
Yeah, not anymore. We took all that out. But it's got a fire pole in it.
Oh wow!
So you can slide from the top down to the bottom.
Otherwise known as a stripper pole.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and then. It had Shakota apparently had a full-time fire department from 1916-ish to 1959.
We still don't have full-time?
No.
I thought when they built the new building that they were going to make it full-time.
Yeah, that's what everybody thought, but it didn't happen. So, but they had one till 59. And that upstairs part of that building, half of it, was the fireman's quarters.
Oh, wow.
There was 6 full-time firefighters, so at all times there was at least 3 upstairs. They had their bedrooms, and then they had a restroom with, or a bathroom, whatever. And it had a shower in it, even way back then. And the shower was plastered. Like when we started, ripping it out and stuff to put new stuff in, it was like they had the old rebar came out of the walls, and they had plastered over it, just like you would plaster the walls and stuff. Wow. And I thought that was kind of weird, you know what I mean? But that's what it was. I mean, it may have been a special plaster, waterproof, whatever, but it was plaster. Yeah. The amount of plaster we took out of that building was insane.
Wow.
I called the Oklahoma Historical Society to try to get some tax breaks or try to get some money for some new windows, because the windows are going to cost me about $50,000-$60,000. I was trying to get some money, and they said, because I thought, this is a misconception, I thought that as long as I didn't do anything to the outside, as long as I restored the outside the way it was, I could do anything I wanted on the inside. That's not the way that works. To get the tax breaks and the special pat on the back, everything goes back the way it was.
Oh.
The inside, if there was plaster, you put plaster back. There is some exceptions for in some cases you can put sheetrock and stuff in there, but for the most part, if it had plaster in it, they want you restoring the plaster.
Well, plaster, I know a guy. I'm just saying.
Plaster is hard to work with and it's expensive.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money doing it. It's actually an art.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So when I found that out, I was like, well, I've already ripped all the plaster out of this. And she gasped. And I was like, well, I don't like the plaster. What actually happened was I told Chase Freeman, the boy from Muskogee, super good guy. He'll do anything. Like he'll clean up old buildings, like rent houses. He'll put you drainage in. I mean, like he does everything. I hired him to come down and his crew to take the plaster up. But what had happened was I told him, he said, what do you want done upstairs? I said, I want all the plaster off the walls. What I meant was all the brick walls. When I went up there later that day, he had taken plaster off all the walls, like the bedroom walls, everything.
Yeah.
The ceiling, he took it all down. And I was like, ooh. Well, look, and now at least we can like move walls around if we want to or whatever, but I didn't mean for that to happen. But when I got up there, you could see from one end to the other. I was like, dang. He took it serious.
So be exact in your wordage.
You have to be, when you're speaking to the contractor, you have to tell him exactly what you want to do. Not what's in your head.
Yeah.
You got to have it come out.
Yeah.
I didn't, but anyway. Well, sir, it's been fun.
It has been a blast. I promised you that you would get out. Actually, I didn't promise you anything.
Yeah, you didn't promise me a thing.
But I let you tell me when you needed out, and I want to respect your time. Yeah, because I know you're busy.
I did a lot of talking.
Well, I wanted you to because I know crap about that stuff.
Yeah,
I really don't. When it comes to that,
it's just like when people think about certain things, it seems like it's too hard to do, or they don't know where to get started, or whatever. What I say is like I didn't know anything about tires when I started selling tires. I didn't know anything about lawnmowers when I started selling lawnmowers. I just did it.
Yeah.
And I learned real fast. You either sink or you swim.
Yeah.
My first 6 months of the tire shop, everybody that walked in that door knew more about tires than I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't let them know it. You know what I mean? I pretended and said, I just agreed with them. And said,
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you need. But I developed it. It came over time and stuff like that. So, it's just like buying properties and rentals and stuff like that. In my opinion, more wealth is made by properties than any business you could ever do.
Yeah.
And so, and as you acquire more stuff, more wealth you get, and blah, blah, blah. That also is not super hard to do. Buying properties, especially, rental properties. I bought 2 years ago, I bought 2 houses with zero money out of pocket, and they actually cut me a check back for $400. And I walked in there without 2 houses, walked out there with 2 houses and a $400 check. So there are ways to buy things without money. Yeah. I didn't even have to have any credit to get that deal done.
Really?
Nothing. Yeah. There are so many ways to get things done.
And talk to you after this. I'm broke and bad credit.
Broke and bad credit. Yeah. Well, you can still do things. It's not hopeless. You know what I mean? So
I have a podcast.
And a really nice one. I love it. It's a really nice setup. But that's a whole other conversation, a whole other story.
Yeah.
But it took me doing a whole lot of deals, buying and selling property, mostly buying, to figure out what it is the bank's looking for if you're using a bank, what it is the seller's looking for if you're using, if you're doing a deal with a seller, like a seller finance or something like that. Yeah. And then some people don't want the tax liability, so you got to figure out a way to get creative. So it's called creative financing. So these are all, there's a plethora of tools that you can use to acquire property. In my opinion, that's the best thing to do. That's where the most wealth is acquired and the fastest. You know what I mean? So I know I went from about 30 to 35. I bought a little over $3 million worth of property.
Wow.
With not more than $70,000 of my own money out of pocket. $3 million worth of property.
Well, between 30 and 35, I lost $500,000 and a wife.
And a wife, yeah.
I mean, that's close, right?
Yeah, I was acquiring. You were dumping.
Yeah, I was just like, that's okay.
Yeah.
It was worth it. I mean, you know why divorces are so expensive?
Why?
They're worth it.
They're worth it, yeah. Well, I've never bought a property that I didn't have a plan for it to pay for itself.
Yeah.
Just like in the tire business, I had that property right there, and I ran that tire shop so it would pay for that property. And then eventually we sold it and did all right. Yeah. Well, the dealership we're at right now, that's an expensive piece of property. The dealership pays for it, and eventually we'll sell it all and do all right. And we would retire and maybe go down to Lake Eufaula. I don't know.
Yeah. Come down to Henryetta.
Yeah, come over to Henryetta.
Start all over.
Yeah. In one of these old buildings.
Buy one of these old buildings.
Now the plan is to put up a shop in the old city hall, upstairs.
Like a dispensary, head shop?
No. I'm just going to have an office up there. I'm going to mess with buying and sell properties and stuff like that, and that's it. Just do that. No more retail stuff one of these days.
Yeah. Wow. I'm excited. I'm always hearing new stuff and everything. But
I just appreciate you guys giving me the time to come over today and talk to you. I really like this format and stuff, so I appreciate you a lot.
Well, I appreciate it. I will definitely see you soon. I'll be stopping by and everything. So
yeah, that's fine with me.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey guys, I want to personally thank everyone for liking and sharing my videos. If you want to continue to see my content, all you got to do is press that subscribe button and I'll notify you as soon as a new video comes out. I don't get paid for any of this. So if you want to buy some of my merch, like my shirts, like Jesus is a Badass or my Don't Be a Dick shirt, you can easily go to my merch store, which is at sogtv.org, which I will have it in the description at every video. So push that, go buy yourself a shirt. I appreciate it. Have a blessed day, and I will see you at the next episode. Thank you.